Hey, welcome everybody. It's good to be with you again. And we are a little late because of technical difficulties, but thanks to Rob and Ortrun, um, they've been able to overcome it. So Neshi is not going to be with us this evening, and Rob hopefully is going to be taking herself and uh, 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 being a host. So you may see him. I hope you see him and hear him because I find he has some excellent ideas too.
Yes, he
So
does.
anyway, welcome. It's good to be with you, and I hope that this is a meaningful and informative and helpful evening to you.
Yes. So, welcome everyone. It's really wonderful to be with you again. It's been really rushed here, so settle in. And I think I'm going to just start off with a little meditation of centering
Good.
right now, just because it's just been so crazy. So, let's take a moment and close our eyes and allow yourself to become still, to be at peace. And breathe in deeply, relaxing, relaxing into this time and this space as all of our divine ones are coming to gather with us. Our spirit families are overlighting us, surrounding us, filling us with love and protection. And ever so gently open all of your energy centers, open them wide, and allow the wisdom, the knowing, the understanding to begin to flow in to you from the heavenly realms. Maybe be overlighted and guided that that which transpires here this evening is beautifully brought forth with much wisdom, light, and love being attained. And for this, we are so grateful and thankful.
Thank you, Ortrud.
You're welcome.
Tonight we're going to talk about energy, and no one really knows how many energies make up our universe. And in fact, I think for many of us, we're still discovering how many different kinds of energy make up our physical world. We know that most of what we can see and feel and touch and smell and taste is made up of electromagnetic energy. That is the energy of the third dimensional physical world, whether it's gaseous, whether it's liquid, or whether it's mineral. Now, the physicists tell us that everything in the universe is made out of energy. But the astrophysicists tell us that the vast majority of the universe, we have no idea what it is because it's made up out of what they refer to as dark energy and dark matter. It isn't that it's dark, it's that their way of saying we know something's there, but we don't know what's there. And they estimate that somewhere up to 95% of our universe is made out of dark energy and dark matter. Now, I personally think that it's not nearly that high, but probably it falls somewhere between 30 and 70% of our universe is made up out of with energy that is beyond the range of our five senses. Well, we really can't deal with most of those because we're just physically and not equipped to do so. But here on the earth, there is more than just the electromagnetic energy. Have you ever thought that you can't see thoughts? You can't smell them, taste them, touch them? And the same is true of emotion. They're beyond the range of our five senses. And when someone dies, you can't see them. You can see what's left of them. They're a physical body with no life in it, but you can't see their thoughts, their emotions, or their soul. But yet we know that they're there because many people have contact with them. And 40 years of research has indicated that in death, there's no loss of consciousness or awareness or free will. We're still very, very much the same person that we were, only we weigh 5/8 of 1 ounce rather than 100 and some pounds for most of us. So we're still there, but what kind of energy are they made of that we can't see them with our five senses? And what are thoughts and emotions made out of that we can't see them with our five senses? So that we know that there's this another kind of energy here on the planet that very much makes us who we are. We are our thoughts, we are our emotions, we are our soul. And a body without that, well, it would be no more than a robot. All right. So what kind of energy are we talking about? And I would like to give a name for you, and it's etheric energy. And what is written about etheric energy says that etheric energy is like a blueprint for a building. It's a plan, it's thoughts, it's ideas. But in terms of physical reality, that has to be implemented or built with electromagnetic energy or physical matter. All right. So we know that we have etheric energy here on the planet, and we do not yet know all of the forms that it takes. I would like to share some thoughts with you here in terms of, let me call them possibilities. We know from the Bible that Jesus was able to do miracles. He was able to do much that we couldn't do. Multiply food and stop the wind and quiet the waves and heal the sick. And oh my God, even raise the dead. And he said to us, everything that I can do, you can do, and even greater. He also said to us, do you not know that you are God? And the psalmist in the 82nd Psalm in the Old Testament said exactly the same thing. Now, it is my feeling, my thoughts, that Jesus was able to do what he did, that we would call miracles, because he had learned how to work with etheric energy. And in order for us to do what he did and greater, we too must learn to work with etheric energy. Now, if etheric energy is the blueprint, it is the underlying energy that girds everything that exists. It, it that it lends some level of understanding to why Jesus was able to do the miracles. Working with etheric energy, he would lay the foundation in etheric energy with his thoughts, with his emotions. And then the physical or electromagnetic energy would be attracted to that form and take on that form. And that is, I believe, how creation came into being, really. And we are all creators, not only individually, but hey, as a human race, my golly, everything that your five senses can perceive in the entire world have either been created by Mother Nature, which is a way of saying aspects of God, or they've been created by humans, originating out of human thought and human emotion. which is also a part of the blueprint. And with human thought and human emotion, we are literally working with etheric energy. And if we hold it properly and if we hold it strongly enough, and we totally, completely believe that it can come into physical form, it does. Buildings, most of the food that we eat, the clothes we wear, the homes we live in, the vehicles we drive in, all created by human thought, created out of initially uh, etheric energy, and with then physical energy added to that, brought it into a physical reality. Now, with Jesus, did not need to use the physical energy that we need to use to build a building or to manufacture a toaster. He was able to do it purely with etheric energy out of his thought and his emotion. And why was he able to do that? How did he do that? And what is it that we need to learn so that, like him, we can produce our own food? We can produce our own clothing. We can produce whatever it is we might want or need. We can heal the sick simply with a touch of our hand and thought and an emotion in our mind and feeling body. That's our potential. And it all involves working with etheric energy. Now, I don't have the complete answer. I'm not at the point in my consciousness that I can create completely with etheric energy, but I have given it a lot of thought and I am working on it. And when I succeed, you'll be among the first to know. And because I'm anxious to be able to teach others to do that. I know that it involves much more than our conscious mind. I know that it involves working with our conscious and subconscious minds together. Our subconscious minds is more familiar with etheric energy than our conscious mind. And I've had a couple of personal experiences that I was working out of my, I'm going to call it my etheric body. And if you've ever had an out of body experience, that does not involve your physical body at all, but it involves your mental and your emotional body. And I want to say it involves your soul also. And I've had the privilege of going into inner earth on 3 different occasions. I've had the privilege of being here in Michigan, and my etheric astral body being down in Florida, working with a hurricane. And these were very, very real. They were the most real experiences I've ever had. They are, for me, they're more real than the physical experiences that I've had. And at least with the hurricane, the effect was measurable. So you know that you can do something and it can be effective. So how do we work with our etheric, with our etheric body? For me, when I've had these experiences, out of body experiences, I've always been in a meditative state. So for me, it involves working simultaneously with the conscious and subconscious mind. And I've always had an image. Well, I shouldn't say that. I did not have an image of any, and those, now that I think about it, I just asked for a result, and zam, I'm there. I didn't ask to go to the hurricane, but I did ask that the hurricane have the effect that I wanted. And well, I've said this story more than once, but if it's, I don't want to bore you, but I'm going to try anyway. The hurricane was Irma. The year was 2017. It was a massive a hurricane, category 5, 185-mile-an-hour winds. It was bigger in diameter than the whole state of peninsula of Florida was. And it was about an hour away from making landfall in Naples. And I was in meditation because our daughter and son-in-law have just a lovely little place down in Tarpon Springs, Florida, and they let us use it for 4 months every winter. Both Ortrun and I, we dearly loved it. And it was just a wonderful place to spend the winter. And I was concerned about it. So I was meditating, asked that it in the neighborhood and Tarpon Springs be protected. And there was this loud voice in my head, you're asking for the wrong thing. Oh, what should I ask for? Focus on the hurricane. So I did. I focused on the hurricane, and instantly, here I am over the hurricane. I maybe 50 miles above it. I can see the entire mass of swirling, counter-rotating clouds, and dancing on the top of the clouds were, I don't know, it had to have been 1,000 or 2,000 dark lords. And I've had years of experience of working with dark lords. I don't work with them directly, but I call in archangels to deal with them. And these are just really, really powerful negative beings. And so I called in the archangels to please remove them. But anyway, the dark lords, they were dancing. They were just so hyped up. You see, their food is our fear. And you can imagine the fear that massive hurricane was generating as it was bearing down on Florida. And the roads were packed to get out of the state. A neighbor of ours was in that, and he said they had all 3 lanes of the 4-lane super highways going north, and 1 lane coming south. And he said traffic was moving an average of 15 miles an hour. It was so jammed. So anyway, just a massive fear. And these dark lords, it was party time. They were just having an absolute ball with this. It was so invigorating for them. So I asked the dark lords to please remove them, and they did. And then I found myself down next to the eye of the hurricane, and I was looking at the air divas. Now, a diva is a nature spirit, and there are all kinds of different divas. And the air divas work with the air. And the water divas, they were there too. They work with cloud formation and rainfall. So I talked to them with my mind as, boy, you guys are just having a ball, because it was party time for them too. They were so hyped up and so excited. They were like a preteen on their first roller coaster ride. It was just, their energy was just absolutely beautiful to feel. But I said, yeah, you guys are really having a ball, aren't you? Oh, yeah, this is really fantastic. And I said, well, you're about to go over land, and you're going to be killing trees, blowing them over. And you're going to be blowing people's houses down, and you're going to be killing animals, and some people will die too. Is that what you want? And I'll never forget the expression on their face. They had never thought of that. And they kind of looked at each other, and they nodded their head. No, that's not what they wanted. And I said, I know that you have work to do. And hurricanes, do you know what they do? They oxygenate the ocean. The wave action sucks air into the water. And over land, they're a cleansing force. The trees that are ready to die, they'll take them down. So I said, I know you've got work to do, but can you do it more gently? And again, their heads were, they were kind of looking down, and they looked at each other, and they nodded their head. Didn't say anything, but just in unison nodded their head. At that point, the winds were 185 miles an hour. An hour later, when it went aground, the winds were down to 135 miles an hour. Now, the forecast, and there are 5 systems that forecast weather, especially extreme weather, and they're almost never in full agreement. There a lot of things you're in agreement with, but there are always things that they're not. But in this case, they were all in complete agreement that that Irma was going to hit the Gulf side and down near the end of Florida, and it would go up the entire peninsula of Florida as a hurricane. Well, by the time it got halfway up to Tampa, St. Pete, and Orlando, it was down to a tropical storm. Okay. Now, that's an extreme example of the power that we have. It isn't that I did that, but I was guided using in a meditative state, in a state in which I was working with etheric energy to, in essence, diffuse a hurricane. And working with etheric energy, this is going to be, it's going to sound like an exaggeration, but I don't think it is. Our potential is almost unlimited. Anything that would be beneficial for ourselves, or particularly for other people, and particularly for groups of people or the planet, would be within our potential. And it would be especially so if a group of people were working together with the etheric energy. We could literally perform mass miracles. We could dramatically affect the group consciousness of humanity. And that would be even greater than something or anything that Jesus did. And that is in the realm of our potential, working out of our conscious and subconscious, working in harmony with the desires of the planet, and using etheric energy. So I think you can sense how important I believe that this is. Now, I'm going to get negative for just a minute here, and this is, and I don't mean it as a negative way. It's a way of helping to help you understand and be prepared. This year, because of the crazy weather around the planet, they're telling us that food production is going to be down close to 20%. And the weather has not been getting better each year. It's been getting worse. The number of hurricanes and earthquakes and floods and droughts and sinkholes and mudslides and so on have been increasing. And India has been hit particularly hard this year, and China has been hit fairly hard too, with crops destroyed because of weather. And in this country, the corn in our area of southern Michigan here looked horrible. There wasn't enough rain during the growing season. We were up north and the corn up there looked good. But out west in the Corn Belt, Iowa and so on, they had a horrendous windstorm, 60, 80 mile an hour winds that just flattened the corn and the wheat. And it even blew over some of those gigantic metal grain storage containers that are, I don't know, 40, 50 feet in diameter. So, and we're a record number of hurricanes so far this year. And food prices, as you are, I'm sure, well aware, are going up. And that trend is apt to continue based on what we've experienced thus far over the last half a dozen years. And also, if you're familiar with Nibiru at all, Nibiru is a huge planet, 4.5 times the Earth. And it has a lot of satellites. We would call them moons. And some of those moons their surface is dust. And Nibiru, you can't get a clear picture of it because it's shrouded in the dust coming off of the moons. Well, when it makes its nearest passage to the Earth's gravity is going to attract some of that dust that escapes from Nibiru. And we don't know how much it's of dust we're going to get. But if it's sufficient to cut out some of our sun energy, that also is going to have a negative impact on food. And wouldn't it be wonderful if we learned how working with the etheric energy, like Jesus, we could take a small boy's lunch and multiply it to feed 5,000 people? It would be a gift that we could share with our family, our neighbors, our community, and it would ease an awful lot of suffering. It could be just a real blessing to humanity. And what a learning that can be for us. And I share this with you, not to generate fear, but to encourage you, to motivate you that there's going to be a need for this. And you have the time necessary if you're willing to put in the time and energy and effort to learn to do this. And I hope that I'm going to be a person that can help you do it. But before I can offer a whole lot, I have to learn myself. So that is one of the things that I'm working on. And again, you'll be one of the first to know. So yeah, that'll certainly be a topic with this program. Hopefully one of these months in the near future. So let me pause here and look to Ortrun. She's got some other thoughts about other types of energy that she might want to share.
No, I'm not going to share about those energies. I just like to ask a few questions. One of the things that you mentioned was that you felt that Jesus did his work only in the etheric energy and the thought. And how did you state that? Because it sounded like somehow the physical energy didn't really get involved. I don't understand. I didn't understand that part. Do you know what I'm talking about? What statement you made?
Yeah,
Okay.
if you want to change the physical reality, you start by changing the blueprint upon which it is built. And as you change the blueprint, you change the structure.
Okay, I have a question there. So when you're talking about the blueprint, you're talking about the etheric body.
I'm talking about the etheric energy, which is the foundation for everything that is manifested in the physical realm.
Okay, I feel I had the impression that the etheric body was our body blueprint, and I felt that was is what should transpire and become um, manifest on the earth plane.
Okay, it isn't just our physical bodies. Yes, there's definitely a blueprint, not just for our physical bodies, but there's a whole stack of blueprints for the human physical body. They're blueprints for each of the components, for the heart, the liver, the kidneys, etc., the brain, and so on. And then you put them all together, and then you have the blueprint for the entire physical body. But a leaf on a tree has a blueprint. The trunk of the tree, all right, has a blueprint. Everything has an etheric blueprint upon which I'm going to say electrical magnetic energy is attracted to become that form.
Okay, because our physical body really isn't that form yet, right?
Our physical body is, well, I'm not sure what you're asking here.
Well, because I understand. Okay, I see etheric templates are is
Yes.
being drawn. I'm seeing it here in front of me, and I know that that's more of the higher energies. It's the body, our bodies, because our aura basically holds all these different bodies, and the etheric template is much higher, in my perspective, than the etheric energy. The etheric template is more coming from the higher realms, more like, what you're saying about fifth dimension, sixth dimension, seventh dimension, and so on. Where the etheric body, from what my understanding is and what I have seen and learned, is that that's basically the grounding energy. It's the one that's associated, I'm going to say, more with um, the root chakra, within our body. And what I've seen in as far as portraits of it or different charts of it, it carries more of that, that red energy as our energy centers carry different colors of energy. And when you're moving up into the cosmic, the etheric template, then that coloration is a lot lighter. It's a lot, and that's more the spiritual energy. But somehow we've got to get that. If we're going to have that manifest upon the planet, we have to bring that into manifestation or bring it on down through these heavier levels. I'm going to say the heavier bodies, so that it can be manifested into the planet.
Okay, my observation is that the electromagnetic energy out of which the physical world is made
Mm-hmm.
has a wide range of frequencies. All right,
Mm-hmm.
and I would say that the same is true with the etheric energy.
Mm-hmm.
So some etheric energy is at a lower vibration, but it's a much higher vibration than the electromagnetic.
Right.
And
Okay.
so it becomes the template to attract the electromagnetic energy. But as the higher frequencies will reach into the spirit realm.
Right.
So it covers a much broader expanse of frequencies than the physical electromagnetic energy.
Okay. Well, anyways, I think it's somewhat complicated.
It is.
Mm-hmm. And it's really something that I think if people want to really look into it quite a bit, if they want to learn more. But the thing is that we want to attract and we want to create. So what are your suggestions on that? Because we're doing our own creations already, in our meditations and the
Yes.
vibratory frequencies that we're working on. We go into meditation and we do our visualizations, or we, and to draw energies to us so that it can come forth into the planet. So we're doing that. So, and as you're saying, you're speaking about doing what Jesus did, and that you're not there yet. Well, all we can do is be where we're at. I think that the main thing is to make a commitment that we want to assist as much as possible.
Yeah.
Right? And then do what we can at our level of awareness and consciousness. Because the thing is that we have so many different levels of awareness and consciousness here upon the planet. Any one of us that commits is going to be assisting in some manner. It will reach certain vibratory frequencies, or where people are individuals, and even I'm going to say not the physical people themselves, but where things are, it will help to uplift. It will help to manifest more. So really, it's always better to grow in consciousness, right? To be more aware.
Yes.
And to be more knowing and so on. But that is, you can't make the jump from being at this particular level to this level all at once.
No, it's a growth process. And I think much of the growth is going to take place in the meditative state.
I agree with you. Yeah.
And it's going to be working in the meditative state. You're working out of conscious and subconscious together. And one of the techniques that I'm using is I'm asking for help, for guidance from my spirit family, who are we all have a spirit family, all right? And they are in most ways more evolved than we are, and can see a much broader picture than we can see. So let them know what it is you want to be able to do, and ask for their guidance and their help. And ask them to please lead you to the experiences that can help you learn that.
Mhm.
All right. And the other one I would ask is your own soul. Talk to your soul, dialogue with your soul, ask your soul what it is you want to be able to do. And it's not going to be an instantaneous thing, but that you may have insights or a series of insights over a period of time that will be helpful. So, and don't ask just once. Uh, if you can ask every time that you go in for, another lesson in helping to manifest here in the physical world for myself and for others. And uh, as information and insights come in, express gratitude and utilize what you've already been given. If you just are accumulating information, you're going to wait until the last piece of the puzzle falls into place before you do anything. Probably the puzzle's never going to get completed. So what you've already learned, utilize. And I would also suggest share with those that are open to hear. All right, because it's going to take tens of thousands, if not millions of people who have this ability that can divert or avoid what could possibly be coming down the road. And we're not going to do it alone. We need as much help as we can get from the spirit realm as well as from the physical realm too.
One other thing I want to focus a little bit on is one of the things that you said when you were inside of the hurricane. You were asking for a certain something to occur, and whoever it was, the masters that were inside with you, they said, no, you're asking for the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what I want to point out with that is that it's really important how we ask for things, right?
And what we ask for too.
That's right. And that's something I think that we have problems manifesting because we are expecting something different than what we really thought. I mean, we thought we asked for what we want, but we didn't state it in the proper fashion. Carl and I have this situation all the time because when we do dowsing together, unless we are in harmony together, we usually get different answers. So we have to take time to go within together, for us to take a few moments to go within and align ourselves together and be on that same playing field, to be in that vibratory frequency or close enough in frequency so that we can get the right answers. Right, Carl?
That's a good point. You can only get an answer at the frequency that you are at the time you ask. Mm-hmm. So before you ask, try to get yourself to the highest possible frequency, because in doing in what you're going to be asking for in terms of how to create, how to perform miracles, that's really high level stuff. That's high frequency stuff. So you need to get yourself to the frequency where you can receive the answer. And I think often the answer comes, but at a different frequency that we're at. And so we miss the answer. We don't get it because it goes over our head. So.
Oh, no, I think that's just really important, is to recognize, that. And so that it's really, you mentioned meditation. Meditation, I do think that's also the key of that going within and the aligning and asking that it be of the highest good, all those different types of things to ask for as you are getting into that space before you start focusing on something that you want to manifest.
See, back to the hurricane. I was asking for something that would benefit us. And they redirected me into something that benefited several million people. All right, a slight difference there.
Okay.
So if you're asking for other people, you're automatically well, I shouldn't say automatically, but you're apt to be at a higher level of consciousness than if you're asking for something for yourself. I find that if I'm asking for something, well, financially, for example, not going to happen. I've really been kind of told, hey, you're going to have to learn that on your own. We're not interested in helping you in that way. So, because I think I came in with a challenge in that area, and they're going to help me learn by not helping me. Okay.
Well, the thing of it is when you're oftentimes the things that you may not actually get assistance with are things that, in a sense, are somewhat, I'm going to say selfish, because the
Mhm.
things that Carl was asking for, we're going to say, the financial thing, that was more a desire for him, or maybe it was intended for both of us, but that manifesting for the higher good for all, as he mentioned, that is much more what we are here to do. That's what we're here to work with, is to bring that beauty and that love and that joy and uplift the planet. That's what we're here for. And if we are coming from our heart mind, and I'm talking now about the higher template, of that. I'm not talking about we all have heart and brain that's working, with the physical body, and we have to move that into those higher bodies and move into, the etheric template, as Cosmic Gypsy mentioned, so that we're at that level of awareness and consciousness before we start creating.
Yes.
And of course, it's always of the highest good for yourself or the planet, right?
Yes.
And now, I believe that if we are working in that space, and then as I believe that most of us that are present here on this program are, I feel that we are going to be taken care of. Now, the thing is that, will we be able to take care of, others, I'm going to say, because you mentioned food, will we be able to do that? I really believe that we can, because I think that things can be manifested in various different ways, and it doesn't necessarily have to be like Jesus did it, to feed the hungry. I think that, I came out of the war. I came out of, that kind of a setting where we were living on care packages, and somehow you stretch things out, and everyone was, our bellies were full and things like that. I think that our whole planet has to come to a space where we've maybe overindulged, some of us, not all of us, but many may have. So it's a matter of balance that whole thing out for everyone, and then that's the way that we'll be able to manifest that for others, and it become that balancing out around the whole entire planet. I think we should have Rob see what the people out there in the chat room have to say.
Yeah, Rob, anything in the chat room? Hi, Karen.
Hi, Karen. How are you? Thank you, Lisa. Thank you for the blessings for us, and also for Neshi and everyone. So thank you. Oh, Rob, he says, dark is a mistranslation from French. It's obscured or unknown.
Right on, Rob. Thanks for doing that. Yeah, dark. I just say it means unknown, and at this point, I would say even unknowable. But thank you. Any other thoughts or comments from the chat?
There's lots of things tonight. The etheric templates. Hi, my dear Cosmic Gypsy. Is that what Plato referred to the word of forms, Carl? Do you think?
I'm not that familiar with Plato, so I'm not equipped to answer that.
So if there's anyone else out there that can answer that for Rob, that would be great. Thank you. Yes, step down into physicality, and that's what we're speaking about. And that etheric, I believe, the etheric body is right next to the physical. That's what brings it forth into the earth plane. And so by stepping it down from the higher levels of awareness and consciousness to ground it into the planet. Okay, Cosmic Gypsy. I have dreams this energy can come through fingers in your
Oh,
future.
it can not only come through, but it can go out of. Hands are probably the most used part of our body in terms of healing other people.
Exactly.
And it can come in through the crown chakra. It can come in through the heart. It can come in literally, our whole body can be absorbing energy, and then we can focus that. And one thing that I do often in my meditation is, I ask to open all of the chakras and to fill me with this energy, and I let it go through my body and through my feet into the earth, helping the ground. Not it only grounds me, but it helps raise the frequency of the planet itself.
Okay. A transfer of plasmic light to manifest. Exactly. And that's
Yes.
what we were
Yeah.
speaking about, that
Yeah.
higher energy, the plasmic energies to come down and ground into the plane. Hi,
Hi,
Deborah.
Deb.
I'm so glad you joined us. I had a serious foot problem to soar to the details. Uh, I told God I could not handle it, that I would accept any outcome. I felt love, peace, and told us, there you go, right? Of the outcome, a miracle. I would have lost my foot. That
There you go.
and
Yeah.
you allowed yourself to be handed over. You handed yourself over to the divine and trusted that you would be taken care of, because we are taken care of by the divine.
Yeah.
Thank you, Deborah, for that. I am praying often, and my faith and trust is much stronger.
Good. Good.
Yes, yes. And again, we talk about doing that in meditation, that can be done in many, many different forms, because we all have our own way of tuning in. So, but yes, the more that we spend time, I know when I wake up through the night, I'm always saying some kind of a mantra, or sending radiant light and love to someone, because I'm awake. I don't know. I figure there's a reason why I'm awake. And so what if I don't know some specific thing that is coming to my consciousness? I send healing, light, love, prayer, whatever, because that's what I feel like. I must be awake for some reason. So if I can't, nothing is coming to me directly, then I'm to be helping in those
Yeah.
other ways.
And speaking of that, our prayers and our thoughts, she and her mother and her husband, it's a difficult time for them. So send them energy, send them love, send them peace, and whatever else you're guided to send them. So
Okay.
she would appreciate that.
Yes, she would. Definitely. So it looks like we've got lots more. Is there anything else, Rob, that you want to bring up? Hi, Karen. It says, I'm doing well, thank you. I was thinking that we might want to research ether versus the electromagnetic ether for the physical world. Um, I think I looked it up in the dictionary, and I thought they were basically saying it was the same thing. It was just a different spelling. I may be wrong on that. What do you know about that, Carl? Or maybe Rob? What do you think? What do you think, Carl? Do you have any thoughts on
Well,
that?
I would say it's just,
Excuse me. Go
go
ahead,
ahead,
Rob.
Rob.
Are you talking about the AE at the beginning of ether?
Yes. Uh-huh.
That's just a Latin spelling. That's a Latin diphthong. It's not common, but I believe it's used in many other Romance languages besides English.
That's what I was thinking when I looked that up, because I did look that up, and it looked like they were using ether. Either way, it was basically the same definition.
It's an archaic spelling.
Just
Okay.
a different spelling.
Thank you.
It's actually
Um,
archaic. Back when the intelligentsia used to write in Latin. That stopped a few centuries ago.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Rob.
Anything else in the chat room?
Well, there's a lot going on in the chat room. I can see. So, and Karen, oh, okay. There you go. She's got a website there for this topic of the aether and ether to be looked at, and it's popularmechanics.com, science and energy.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Karen.
Karen.
Regardless of outcome, not told us. All right, there you go. And that's wonderful. It really and truly is.
Well, Deborah, hopefully you can get to playing soccer now. So-
Yeah, right. Well, the thing is that for us to recognize, how much is really there within us. I keep trying to stress that to individuals for them to know how beautiful they are and if you looked at, your aura, how many different layers there are, uh, the physical, mental, emotional, auric, astral, so on and on and on. All of these different levels, and they are all reaching out a little bit further and a little bit further. And then when we add going into that higher level of consciousness, when you're doing your meditations and creating, that aura of yours becomes even so much larger. And most of us aren't even aware of it. And there's this beautiful pulsation that goes on, with that as you are actually, and you're emitting this beautiful energy of what it is that you're desiring to create. So we're all just wonderful, wonderful beings of light that are here on the planet to help in its upliftment. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I want to change the topic here for just a moment. You've probably all heard of the Flash, the big event that we're going to be having. And there was an interesting channeling that came through that resonated with me. They said that event was planned roughly back in the mid 1930s, about 80 years ago. And they anticipated that the human race would need this really swift, hard kick in the butt to be up to where they needed to be as we go through going through the photon belt in order to reach the level of ascension that had been set for us. But they said that we have grown much, much more than they had ever thought possible. And yes, we're still going to have that event. And yes, it's supposed to occur yet this year, this calendar year. And they said, but for many, it's not going to be that kick in the butt. It might be just a tap in the shoulder, because that's all we need to push us over the line to be where they anticipated or wanted us to be in order to reach the point of the consciousness of humanity ascending. So they said, literally, thank you for all of the work and effort you've done to achieve this, and please keep it up. It is greatly appreciated and needed, and it's going to be not the huge adjustment that they had anticipated we would have to make. So that's really, really good news. So, but there still is going to be a flash, and the flash will be coming from our sun. And I don't know how that's going to. It seems like only one side of the sun, or the Earth, is facing the sun at any one time. I don't know how that's going to be dealt with, but if it does happen, know that is been predicted, and it's a very uplifting, positive thing. And open yourself up and get yourself to the highest frequency you can. You're not going to have any warning, but after it comes, just absorb as much of that energy as you possibly can. Okay.
So are there any last thoughts that in the chat room that might be a good thing to share at this time? Okay, in the medieval time, with alchemists and in Western mystery tradition, there's a different understanding. Well, that's true. I think that the Western world still has quite a bit to catch up with because I think that these mysteries are just coming forth, and we're being slowly introduced to them here over in the Western world, where others are still accepting that even more so than we realize and recognize. And that alchemy, that we are those magicians, even that we recognize, we are magicians, that we can change energies. I know my healing work, that I work with the healers of whoever it is I'm working with. And they're really the ones that are doing the work.
Yeah.
I'm the facilitator, and I'm watching them go right in, into the different parts of the bodies and pulling out what they see needs to be modified, and then taking it and really they separate whatever it is they're working on. There are many masters that are working with the healing masters, and it's like I call it like an MRI, where you see all these different areas, and then the different healers. They focus on specific vibratory frequencies that are their. That's who they are, the masters of these.
Yeah.
Because everything within us and around us is many, many different types of vibratory frequencies. And then they reorganize basically the structures of it, and maybe totally eliminate some and bring in something new. And that is that alchemic process, and it's occurring, and it occurs when we do it, when we are focusing on healing also. It's just that we don't really see that happening, but that's the way they're giving it to me, that separating it. And like I said, what was given to me, it's like an MRI. So I find that really quite fascinating to see that that's what's going on when we're helping, when we're assisting also. So,
well, we're out of time, and we thank you for being with us, for joining us, and I hope this has been uplifting and empowering for you. And I hope it's raised some questions for you too that you'll seek answers for.
The only other thing that I did notice that was out there, they're talking about plasma energy, and so that might be something for someone to look at, or who's interested in looking at that whole aspect of the plasmic physics. So good study, yes. And I want to just thank every one of you out there that participated and with us and shared their thoughts, because look at the different things that we learned really from you too, also, because we're all filled with different types of knowledge and wisdom, and it's so wonderful to be able to have the time to be together and to be able to share these different thoughts and ideas and learn from and grow from each other. So thank you so much.
Yeah, please accept our love and our blessing, and stay healthy.
Yes, please do. We love you very much, and thanks again for tuning in. And thank you also for those that will be watching this show with the replays. We appreciate all of you.
Look forward to next month. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye now.